Hey there everyone, I'm Michael, and welcome to another video. Okay, that was a little bit of a weird intro. Well, it kind of seemed a little egotistical, but I got a little distracted there because when I hit the button to record, the page reset on itself. That was strange. Anyway, in this video I want to take you guys around my website, which is something that's probably very little known. I'm also submitting this for my portfolio project in my communications course, so not only is this going up as a YouTube video, but it's also going to be submitted for that course, so there's that. But either way, I do want to show you guys my website because there is a lot of stuff going on with it that I want to share. Now, there is a big red banner saying that it is under construction. I don't have much time to work on the website, so there are still things that might 404 every now and then and might not work properly. I'm in the middle of moving some things from this website to my games website, so that's also a thing. But most of it is working fine, and I'm going to show you guys that stuff. So this is the home page, and it mostly just kind of goes over who I am and gets you straight to my blog. Now, there is this little green section down here, or maybe it's blue. I am colorblind, and a whole lot of other blind as well, that says join the community. That is something that might not work right now because I'm in the middle of completely redoing all of that community stuff, and that will be fixed over the winter break between semesters. Anyway, I've written a few blog articles over the past few months, for example, about this dynamic settings system that I wrote for Unity that is powering the configuration system in my game. To understand, I am a huge fan of low-level programming, so kind of the programming that you don't really see. I guess an analogy for that would be, I don't really work on the ability to, type an address bar into your web browser and go to a website. I like writing the code that actually processes the address bar and turns it into something that the computer can understand and find the website you want to go to and download that page and display it on screen. That's what I love working on. I love working on the behind-the-scenes things that you don't see, that you don't even know you're interacting with. Honestly, if you don't know you're interacting with my code, then I've done my job because my code is working. If you do know you're interacting with my code, it's most likely because I messed it up and there's a bug and you're frustrated, and I don't like that. And that's what most of my blog articles are going to be about, is these sort of low-level things that you don't see, my thought process behind writing them, what they're for, what their usages are, and all that stuff. And this is kind of me going over that for a settings system in my game, which is the system that lets you, configure the game, set your resolution, your graphics settings, all that stuff. Anyway, enough about that. I don't want to ramble on too much. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Anyway, up here we have some other pages. For example, the About page that I just wrote today, actually. It's not finished, but this gives you a good idea of who I am. Kind of says what I'm working on, how I got into programming, and that I'm working for Trixel Creative on their Restitched project, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out already, they do have a Steam page, and I would highly suggest wishlisting the game, because it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited to be working on it. Nonetheless, we have the blog, which of course is, well, you already saw one post, but there's currently only 3 right now. I don't have much time to write blog articles, to be honest. And that's okay, because quality over quantity, in my opinion. There may only be 3 blog articles, but if they're 3 really great ones, then that's awesome. Then we go to my portfolio, or my work in the navigation bar, and there you go, right there. Say hello to Stuffy, Restitched, and Trixel Creative and all that stuff. Front and center. I want it to be front and center because it is the game I'm most proud of. I am working on Socially Distant, which is another game I'm proud of, but Restitched is kind of me taking everything that brought me into game development as a career, and putting that back into a game to hopefully inspire more future game developers like me who got into game development because they played a game with a robust level editor that encouraged creativity. I want Restitch to be, now to be clear, it's not a project I'm solely working on, and I don't claim that in this video, but I want Restitch to be what Little Big Planet was for me as a kid. I want it to inspire a future generation of amazing game developers. And that's why it's front and center. But I have worked on other projects. For example, Cynical Hamlet was a project that I worked on in grade 12 English, kind of to make fun of Shakespeare, because I knew that I would never ever need Shakespeare in my career. But I wrote code to make fun of that, and it got me a 100% in that course for that project, so I feature it here as sort of a memory of maybe I can't do the proper assignment, but I definitely can do great work that gets me the proper grade. So I want to keep that front and center. And then there's some of the other supplemental projects I've worked on, such as Ancient Washington, which originally started as a Little Big Planet game server monitor for Discord. I would tell you if the game servers were online or not, because over the summer they were offline and under massive amounts of maintenance, and the community needed to know when everything was back up online, and if it was online permanently. That's what Ancient Washington did. But I am going to be repurposing it either over the winter or the summer to be a general purpose server monitor bot, so that I can use it to monitor game servers for my own games, or other games that people might be interested in. So I want to feature it here as well. And then, I can't remember what this is. I can't read it. There is the Cloudflare Dynamic DNS, David. That is a lot of technobabble there, but basically, to sum that up, that's how my website's able to work, because I actually host my website on a tiny little computer that's sitting on a shelf right above my head right now. And that is the most annoying thing you could ever do. Back in the 90s, it was like really easy to host a personal website, and even in the early 2000s it was, but in 2020, hosting a website at home is like not a trivial thing to set up, and cloud companies have sort of banked on that by charging kind of expensive prices for hosting. And I'm a college student. I don't make that much money. I really don't want to be paying like upwards of like $25 a month just to host my website. I'd rather just pay $200 for a tiny little computer, sit it on a shelf, connect it to the internet, and host my website at home. And home internet providers make that incredibly complicated, and Cloudflare Dynamic DNS daemon is a tool that I wrote to make it significantly less complicated by automating all the work. So that's what I like doing. I like writing code to solve problems, and that's what I want my portfolio to show. So yeah, anyway, that's gonna do it. That's basically all there is to see on here. Now, there is a lot more on my sort of web presence. For example, I do have a GitHub account. Obviously, I'm a developer. I do have GitHub. And I have a Twitter, because I like to post about my game and all that stuff. And I do have a YouTube channel, which obviously you know, because that's probably where you're watching this. And then, of course, there is the other website that I have, which I highly recommend you check out, but I won't do a tour of. sociallydistantgame.com. The upcoming social hacking game that I'm working on, based on COVID-19 and the events of 2020. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. As always, I've been Michael. I'm going to do the regular YouTube outro. As always, I've been Michael. Hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Not really applicable for the college project submission, though. Anyway, see you later.